Hi, I'm Donald McIntyre, Operations Manager at Emerald. This is the Emerald Blockchain course, Class 14. What are raw private keys, private key JSON files, and secret passphrases? Like I explained in the previous class, uh, private and public key cryptography is used to generate addresses on blockchains, and with the private key, people can control their public addresses on the blockchain, and under the addresses on blockchains are booked the crypto assets, native coins like Bitcoin, Ethereum, Ethereum Classic, stable coins, NFTs, anything that you have on the blockchain is under your address and is public. But you control that, and only you, because the private key is a unique password, unique in the universe, that you only control. This is why it's very important to keep the security of the private key very high. So the private key is transformed into a public key using a one-way mathematical function, and it doesn't matter that people may know your public key. You can give it to others for them to send you crypto, because from the public key it's practically impossible to figure out the private key or your secret password to control your addresses on blockchains. So a raw private key is basically this number, this big number here that is used in private key cryptography. The private key itself is what is called a raw private key, because now there are other formats of keeping private keys that are not in raw format. So this is what would be your raw private key, and many wallets, including Emerald Wallet, lets you enter your raw private key, generate your address, and use Emerald Wallet using your raw private key. So many wallets support this format. The other formats are private key JSON file. This is a very popular format. When Ethereum was launched, a lot of people had their private keys and addresses in this format. Basically, a private key JSON file, JSON stands for JavaScript object notation, which is a format file used in computer science for machine-to-machine communications. But it transforms the private key and public key information into a file that looks like this. This is how it looks, one that I downloaded for this example in my computer. And when you open it, if you open it using a text editor or something like that, you're going to see gibberish, just information in this format, which is encrypted, because usually to create a private key JSON file, you enter a password, so it's encrypted with that password that you created. So this is meaningless for humans and even for machines, because if they don't have the password, they cannot decrypt this information. So this is the format of private key JSON file, and many wallets support it, including Emerald Wallet. If you use Emerald Wallet, you could create addresses and wallets using your private key JSON files. Then we have another format, which is the secret passphrases. This was invented in the blockchain industry to manage private keys. Basically, it works the other way around. As I showed with the JSON file, it transforms the private and public key into a file and shows it like this. In the case of the secret passphrase, it's in the other direction. It was created so that humans could have 12 words or 24 words, and those 12 words or 24 words they have to be kept secret, because from this information you can figure out your private keys and your addresses on the blockchain. So people write them down, and it's easier for humans to write them down or memorize. But the way it works is that from this information, from the 12 words or 24 words that have to be in exactly the same order, the same spelling, etc., they go through a mathematical function, which is called hierarchical deterministic function. And hierarchical deterministic wallets like Emerald Wallet, which also supports this format, transforms this information into private and public key pairs. The interesting thing about this is that when you use this system, not only it's easier for humans to keep the security of these words rather than trying to hide private keys and memorize them and stuff like that, but with the same 12 or 24 words, you can create many, nearly infinite, an infinite amount of private and public key pairs. And not only that, but you can have addresses on Bitcoin, Ethereum, Ethereum Classic, and other blockchains where you have your crypto assets from the same set of 12 or 24 words. So this is how the secret passphrases work. You have 12 or 24 words. It goes through a mathematical function. There's a derivation path per address, and because this derivation path can be infinite, you can create infinite amount of private and public key pairs, and that is private keys and addresses. So you can have many addresses in multiple blockchains. It's an industry standard that everybody uses. Thank you very much for watching this Emerald Blockchain course, class 14. What are raw private keys, private key JSON files, and secret passphrases? And please remember to download Emerald at emerald.cash/download. Thank you very much.